Hey YouTube, it's Eric. This video is gonna be pretty quick. I just found some really interesting information that alludes to the recent death of Seth Rich as possibly being an entire Jesuit psychological operation hoax to further the Jesuit political agenda. And uh, the reason this did drive the Jesuit political agenda is because the murder of Seth Rich drove or created a whole bunch of right wing, pro Trump, anti Hillary conspiracy theories. And it actually drove Donald Trump's support way up through the roof. Okay. And the Jesuits wanted people, because Donald Trump is the Jesuits' ultimate Trojan horse candidate. I've covered this in previous videos, but Donald Trump has nominated literally over 15 Jesuit educated men and women to his administration. Also, Donald Trump has various knights and various Catholics that have donated and supported his campaign. Donald Trump's sister donated $4 million to Fairfield University during the election. So Donald Trump is the ultimate Trojan horse candidate. I heard Donald Trump say this week that in order for American to or like in order for an American to even get groceries, the Americans Americans will have to like show like proof of their quote unquote citizenship. And what that is actually, as an American, he's forcing you to acknowledge that you are a person. Okay, as a person, a person is using your surname, which is actually owned by Rome. You're using it as a license. Okay, so Donald Trump is essentially saying you have to acknowledge that you are um, essentially a slave to our Roman trust law system to even buy the necessities of life, such as food. Okay, but I'm gonna show you the Seth Rich murder was all done to drive up support for Donald Trump at the time, and like the classic Jesuit Hegelian dialectic. Like Hillary Clinton has an honorary degree from Georgetown, and her husband Bill Clinton went to Jesuit Georgetown. Okay, but this is the supposed Seth Rich. Here's a picture of him. I don't. I think this was a complete hoax. Like, and you have controlled sites like QAnon are promoting that this Seth Rich murder and saying that like Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the DNC murdered Seth Rich, which again I think is a lie because it's all the right after Debbie Wasserman Schultz steps down, the new head of the DNC, the current DNC head right now, is Tom Perez, who is Jesuit trained at Canisius College. And this is from the Jesuit America magazine. Look at this. New Democratic Party leader Tom Perez has deep Jesuit connections. Yeah. You see here, he says Jesuit values have animated his career, and I'm gonna show you with Seth Rich, the supposed guy who died. Seth Rich said that he has Jesuit values as well. Okay, just like how so I think the Seth Rich thing was just like another staged murder, just like the Congressman Leo Ryan staged murder down in Guyana during the Jonestown psyop. Congressman Ryan, like Seth Rich, went to Jesuit Creighton University. Okay, you see here, even Tom Perez's wife, Ann Studemeyer, was part of the Jesuit Volunteer Corps in Buffalo in the 80s. And they attended a Jesuit run parish in Washington, D.C. And Tom Perez, the current head of the DNC, has spoken at high profile Jesuit gatherings in recent years. His role model is the late Horace B. McKenna, S.J. So this is the role model of the current head of the DNC, Tom Perez. I'll link this in the show notes too. Okay. So it's not a coincidence, guys. This was all done to drive up support for Donald Trump, who was the Pope's Trojan horse candidate. Okay, we see here on this article on the supposed murder of Seth Rich. You see here he was born in a Jewish family. Okay, but you can see his family was uh, papal court Jews serving the Pope. The Jewish kid from Nebraska chose to attend a Jesuit college, Creighton, because he liked its political science curriculum. Quote, he'd sometimes call himself a Jew with Jesuit values, end quote, his father said. I repeat, Seth Rich called himself a Jew with Jesuit values. Okay. I'm just highlighting this out. Like all these control op sites that are like promoting this murder of Seth Rich and he went to a Jesuit college. This was all done to I think to drive up the support for the Trojan horse candidate that was Donald Trump. And you see here it's on his Wikipedia, Seth Rich graduated from Jesuit Creighton University with a degree in political science. Okay. Began working for the DNC in 2014, which is now currently headed up by Jesuit trained Tom Perez. Right there. See here, so this even goes like right here. This is what I mentioned earlier. It's even on Wikipedia. The murder spawned several right wing conspiracy theories, including the false claim Rich had been involved with the leaked DNC emails in 2016, contradicted by the July 2018 indictment of 12 Russian military agents for hacking the email accounts and networks of Democratic Party officials. Okay. Um, yeah, I'll have to look more into that Russian Mueller investigation, but to me, like that's all damage control. Um, here, uh, so Seth Rich was also used to. This was right in harmony with like the Pizzagate. This is right when Pizzagate was coming out. So like they put out this like fake news against Seth Rich, and then the mainstream media condemns all uh, alternative media as fake news, and it scares the sheeple into following the big mainstream sources. That's what it's all about. Okay. Rich's parents called the conspiracy theorists quote disgusting sociopaths. That's like a Jesuit trained like sophistry thing to say. Okay. Pretend like they were a victim. Okay. And Seth Rich said he had Jesuit values. Yeah, so apparently, this is like he was shot about a block from his apartment in Bloomingdale, Washington D.C. Let me see here. According to the police, he died from 2 shots in the back and may have been killed in an attempted robbery, noting that the neighborhood had been recently plagued by robberies. Rich's mother told the NBC of Washington affiliate, quote, there has been a struggle. His hands were bruised, his knees are bruised, his face is bruised, and and yet he had 2 shots in the back. Let me see if they Seth Rich medical if they release his medical report. Here's another proof. Joseph Farrow at WND, which I've already done videos on. WND, which has tons of Knights of Malta on their website. Let's see if Seth Rich. So Joseph Farrow has started $100,000 GoFundMe created in 2015. Created on WND.com on behalf of Joseph Farrow, who also appears on Knight of Malta, Jesuit puppet Rupert Murdoch's Fox network all the time. Help crack the Seth Rich murder case. So to me, this is to me this is the WMD like financially profiting off this psyop. These guys like are spineless. Like they'll sink as low as they can go to get some more money. Money is these guys' gods. WND is the one agency that won't be deterred and is determined to get to the truth. What a crock of shit. Same WND that has Knights of Malta, Pappy Cannon, and Lord Monkton as writers. Really. Well, I did a video on like the disinformation of WND. Their whole staff is Catholic. um, yeah, so honestly, I think ultimately, I think this was a psyop. I'm not gonna make this video too long, but this is really intriguing to me. He called himself a Jew with Jesuit values, and all these controlled op sites and mainstream media sites are promoting this murder. And even like WND is Joseph Farrow, Roman Catholic, who is promoting the whole Barack Obama birther psychological operation. And it was just watch my videos on Obama. Obama had like 30 Jesuits in his administration, and Obama got an honorary degree from Catholic Notre Dame University in 2009, right at the beginning of his first term. But yeah, I think that's all for this one, YouTube. Peace and love, and namaste. And just not a coincidence. Right after this quote unquote Seth Rich death, the new DNC chair Tom Perez comes in, and he has quote deep Jesuit connections, and that's coming from a Jesuit source. Okay, that's all for this one, YouTube. All roads lead to Rome, and the Jesuits. Take care.